Hey everybody, it's your favorite girl vocal with AJ Reese on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning. It is warm. It is very warm out. I'm sweating. I have a t-shirt on and some tights, so I'm just like, I'm sweating, y'all. I'm sweating. I'm going through my own middle-aged stuff, if that makes sense. I hope you guys are doing well. I am going to end the series for now with the parenting versus friendship. I thank you guys so much for all of your feedback and just all of your input. And I just thank you guys. I do. I thank you for all of my subscribers, old and new, those who are about to come on board. Welcome, 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 welcome. So I want to get right into it. And I am coming from this website and it's talking about empowering parents. So the piece I wanted to mention with a few other things, it says act like the responsible adult your child needs. Um, the key is to have a responsible relationship with your child. Responsible adults don't let their children skip their homework. They don't let their children make excuses for failure, and they don't badmouth the teachers. That's the type of relationship you need to have with your child. It's called being a responsible adult. An adult who loves their child and at the same time holds their child accountable. It's called effective parenting. And that's one of the things we want to make sure that we really begin to demonstrate. And for those of you who are, I salute you, kudos to you. But for those who may be struggling or may have never even tried to visit or explore that avenue, I think it's time that you did. It says parenting is not an art, and it's an art, it's not a science. And there are several ways you can get off track with them. And they're given tips as to how you can stay balanced. So it says for number one, you don't want to become permissive. Effective parents do what? They set boundaries. And permissive ones erase the boundaries. You don't hang out with them on Saturday night giggling about their boyfriends, using their slang and dressing like they do, trying to be so hip and cool. You don't share inappropriate and intimate details about our life and with them just to try to get close to them. You don't give in to them so they will like you. A parent who is also a friend keeps the boundaries crisp and clear, but you let them know and feel that you're there with them for the long haul. So it's like you're setting in stone. You're setting up the structure of the relationship that you want you and that child to have. And you're letting them know ahead of time the things that you will accept and the things that you will not accept. So number two, you don't want to be distant and aloof. If you were, you wouldn't get to know them and they wouldn't get to know you. And you know what's really crazy, because I will always say, I'm like, Dad, for me to be in a house with a bunch of people, they don't know me. They do not know me. And oftentimes, for the most part, growing up in the house, I always felt alone. I always felt like I was always by myself, like I didn't fit in, I wasn't wanted. That's a horrible feeling to have when people who quote unquote say they love you, but you got to really understand people who are sick, their definition of loving you is, yeah, okay. So there would be minimal trust between you and they wouldn't share with you what's happening in their lives. So you would lose your ability to influence and guide them. If you're closed down with them, they'll close down to you. If you don't open up to them and promote mutual sharing, the communication between you will be tense and surface. Communication is a two-way street in any kind of relationship, and it's the bedrock of a relationship. So if you decide to be distant, you have to give up on being close to your kids, and that is so so true. Like I didn't have a relationship with my mother and her husband. Like it was a very sick and twisted relationship, and I shut down many of times, and it was always taken for I was being disrespectful or whatever. But when you're constantly being abused, and I'm talking about all forms of abuse or whatever, what are we discussing? Like, why are we acting like we're normal and we're not? Like, we're just not. We're not normal. Something's extremely wrong. And part of my behavior is trying to say to you guys are thrown off. Something is really wrong with you guys. And I have no desire, and I'm not happy. I am not happy at all. I hate the house I grew up in. So, number three, you don't want to be controlling. When you control kids, kids tend to rebel. Remember, I told you guys that control factor they had over me, I started fighting back in different ways. A flip mouth. It was even a few times we got into a few physicals because it was like, no, I'm tired of y'all putting your hands on me. I'm tired of y'all abuse. I'm just tired of it. Kids get fed up. They have feelings too. And just remember, God takes all things into account. So don't think you're getting away with nothing because you're not. It may take years for you to get your payback, but you're going to get it. Instead of getting on the inside track with them, they will be out to disobey and get out from under your control. They might rebel openly and loudly by looking for ways to sneak, lie, and cover up. Let me tell you something. If it got me out of being abused, I did it. So if I had to lie, I lie. That's simple. You know, if I stole money, I stole. So I don't have to lay on my back for your husband to get what I need, my personal toiletries and all of that. That should automatically come with stuff. I know you guys are like, dang, really? Yeah, really. I ain't here to hold no punches with nobody. I'm just here to give it straight with no chaser. It is what it is. To be uncooperative, to be sullen, and to talk back. Remember, I just said that. Smart, flip mouth, all of that. Sometimes you got to do the homework. Sometimes we see these kids and they're acting out, and well, why are they so disrespectful? Why is this? Sometimes, and I will say to their defense, sometimes you have to go and start digging a little deeper to find out what's really going on behind closed doors. What's really, because sometimes, just sometimes, the acting out child is the one that's trying to tell somebody something's wrong in the house, something's going on. And I learned that from my psychology classes that I took in undergrad. It's in the book, it's written. It's not the Bible, but it's written. Or they might rebel quietly by getting an eating disorder because you simply cannot control what they put in their mouths or what they don't. Control doesn't feel like respect. And if you don't respect them, you can't expect your kids to respect you. And it is so true. Remember, I just said, I don't go around disrespecting my mother and them, but I don't have any respect for them. I just don't. For what? You give me something to respect and I will. But when you have not and keep choosing not to, I won't. But my idea of I won't, I just don't deal with you. Silence is golden, baby. It's a killer. You don't want to become a helicopter parent. I love this one. When you hover over your kids, making all their decisions for them, trying to prevent them from making a mistake or, God forbid, failing, you actually damage their self esteem. And that is so true. You cannot go around trying to tell them what they're going to be. My mother, one of her dreams for me was, I'm going to be a registered nurse. She went around telling all these people that I said, I don't want to be no registered nurse. Nothing towards nurses. I love you guys. I thank God for you guys. We need you guys. But you got to know what's in your background, what's for you. And that was not for me. I had no interest whatsoever. So when I failed out of community college, oh God, she talked about me like a dog. You know, how could you be stupid? How could you? And I'm saying to myself, and I did get a scholarship to go to community college. See, people ain't know that. But see, God blessed me to work on getting that scholarship. Nobody did that for me but God. It ain't like, they sat down with me, went through the essay I had to write. And no, I had a writing coach in high school that actually helped me funnel my thoughts on paper. It was in me. It's just somebody that can help you get it out and grammatically put everything in a format that can be accepted. So again, when you always getting your self-esteem damaged and somebody's always talking to you negatively or reckless, as the kids say, I would get talked to all kinds of ways. And they even taught my sister and them how to talk reckless to me. So everybody looks at me like I'm the peasant of the group and you treat her and her kids indifferent. But you guys, y'all royalty. Well, baby, I'm sorry you ain't get the memo because, honey, baby, I'm divine. I'm royally divine. And it's not my problem that you didn't get the memo. I'm the top dog. And I'm not being cocky or arrogant. I'm being godly confident. So they see your hovering as a message that you don't trust them and that you don't believe they can take care of themselves. The more you guide them in decision making, but allow them to make their own in age appropriate ways, the more mature and wise they become in making good choices. My kids from time to time will call and run something past me, and I'll listen. And there's sometimes I'll get ready to say something, and then I'll just pull back, and I'll be like, "Well, what was your thoughts on it? What did you think? What do you feel about it?" And then they'll be like, "Well, I was thinking," da, da, da," and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, well that seemed to make sense or whatever." Sometimes we mean well, but sometimes you gotta, like they said, be able to step back and let them be able to, because the minute that thing go left or right, who you think they're gonna come back and blame? You. Oh, okay. And you teach them that failing is okay. It's a part of human experience. You can ask them what decision they made that led to a bad outcome. How could they have handled it better? What can they do to recover, and how can you help? And you can model for them how to deal with mistakes by admitting some of your own instead of making them feel belittled, berated, humiliated, put down, or stupid. Teach them that a failure is a learning tool. And I remember I had failed the fourth grade. I'll never forget. When I tell you, my mother and her husband, they dogged me the whole time. Dogged me. Never said, never took ownership. Well, we could have did better. We could have made sure you had what you need for school or got tutoring or whatever. No, it was, how could you be stupid? You just always doing stupid stuff. Then they would just go around telling everybody, oh, she's not having a summer because she failed her grade. So people who failed a grade don't enjoy the summer. People, do you know how I felt over and over and over, and people looking down on me, scorning me? When I tell you guys that has been my life, people disrespecting me, saying any old kind of mean, foolish, nasty, filthy, foul things to me, hurting my feelings. I'm telling you, words hurt. Be careful what you spew out of your mouths to your children and your grandchildren, your nieces and your nephews, or somebody else's child. Be careful. You're going to have to eat those words. Don't think you're not. You will. What I needed was proper love and support and encouragement and parenting. I didn't get proper parenting in my life. That's why I go to distance for children, not just mine. For whoever child I come in contact with, do you know how many people, kids, look at me as their mother? They really look at me as their mother because I nurture, I love, and I'm also disciplinary. I come with the form of discipline. Now, I'm not beating you upside your head, but I'm letting you know I ain't the one. I'm not tolerating it. And if we're going to have this relationship as like unto a mother and a child, there are some things in place that I need you to be understanding with that won't be tolerated or accepted. So, again, be careful how you treat your children. You are going to eat those words. Do you know how many people I've come across and say, yeah, I've always was looked at, as the one who wouldn't amount to anything, and now I'm the one doing better than all of them. You know how many people I hear that from? Don't mind me, y'all. I'm tearing up stuff. But it's shame on you. Shame on you. You don't have the right to berate or little anybody. Who are you? I don't care how well you're doing. I don't care how much money you're making. Who are you? Who are you? You don't have the power to create human beings. So, no. Everything goes back to the Father. Everything. Be careful what you say out of your mouth because you will eat those words. And even if you're not here to eat them, guess what? Somebody along that family line, your children or grandchildren, are going to have to eat that. They're going to have to eat what you've sown. So, again, we want to parent these children the right way so they can be the best productive human beings in public society, not where it's a disgrace or you start regretting the fact that you even gave birth to these kids. No. And the thing about it, see, we always want to talk about, a gender reveal and a baby shower and all of that. Well, what about let's do some type of educational get together instead of a gender reveal. Let's come together and everybody start writing checks and put this up in an account for this baby that's coming, and not for right now purposes. I'm talking about for future purposes, educational purposes. If they want to go to a trade school or open up their own business or whatever. What they say, great minds think alike. Let's start thinking that way. I told you guys a while back, maybe over a year ago, I was invited to a bat mitzvah. A young lady. I was, her one-on-one, and her parents, really grew fond of me, and I grew fond of them, and I still am, and they still are of me. And they invited me, and I was so taken aback. I was so in awe. Like, that was my first time ever being in one, but I had such a wonderful time. When I tell you, again, a beautiful handmade wood woven basket. And it was about, you can't really see how I'm measuring it, but it was big, full of checks, envelopes full of checks. I said, you know what? I'm hanging around the wrong folk. I'm hanging around the wrong folk. Fish fries and block parties, and no, no, no. I'm talking about the one with the checks. That's where I need to be at. Elevation starts here, and in your heart, and in your mind, and in your soul. So that's all I have for you guys. I want us, listen, what they say, when we know better, do better. Bottom line. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I really do. We got a job to do. We do. We all have a job to do. It's not just for the parents, it's for all of us who are amongst these children and young adults. And we're just amongst one another. And the bottom line is, just to share with you real quick, there was a triple homicide that took place yesterday um, in Philadelphia. And the saddest thing was, it was the woman's son who killed her and her husband, shot his sister. I'm like, what is going on? We are in for some rude awakening, turbulent times. We are. It's already turbulent now, but it's going to get worse. Stop with all this. We praying for world peace. Allow the peace of God to be in you, because that's exactly where it's going to need to be. Because the bottom line is, it's not getting better. It is not getting better. The word is opening and unfolding like never before, and quick and swift. Guess what? We got to stay prayed up. We got a job to do. We have a job to do. When we go back to glory, back in heaven, I want my account to be zero. I want to have given everything I've given that I was supposed to give while I was here. Love you guys. God bless you, Lord willing. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe to Who Your Favorite Girl Vocal with AJ Reese. What? You see me? Alvernia, you again. This is their football team. They had a game or something. I didn't go, but I got the T-shirt. It was when I went to go pick up my cap and gown and my cords. Your girl with her cords. The one they said wasn't gonna be nothing. The one that everybody didn't take the time to involve themselves with. God bless your girl. But anyway, y'all have a good one. Have a good one. Love you. God bless. Bye.